multiple Batmen running around Gotham, the game knowing you cheated, and even cut content found within the files of Batman Arkham Shadow. Camouflaj Studio has jam-packed this game with Easter eggs and references that you may have missed during your playthrough of the game. If you found anything interesting that hasn't been mentioned in this video, be sure to comment down below, and while you're at it, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. There are multiple times that people have come close to finding out Batman's identity. Another example of this is in Batman Arkham Shadow, where if we go to the police station we can find multiple possibilities such as Santa Claus, Dracula, Bigfoot and Bruce Wayne. These are probably pure guesswork and jokes, but I wonder how close they were to actually finding out that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Also in the police station, there is apparently a second Batman roaming around Gotham City that the police have been searching for. This copycat Batman has stopped a carjacking and has also saved Commissioner Gordon. I feel like this is a clear sign that this Batman is actually Barbara Gordon's Batgirl, working independently, as it would make sense that Barbara wants to help out. This copycat even saved her father, Commissioner Gordon, which I feel is another obvious sign, and she probably wants to prove herself worthy enough to work with Batman. This Batman 2.0 also left an anonymous tip at one point, and later into the story at the Beacon Hotel, Barbara tells Batman that she left a previous tip, which sounds like she's done this multiple times before.
Like I was trying to tell you earlier, I'm the one who called in the anonymous tip about this guy.
Let me know your theories. Did you know that someone is stalking you in Batman Arkham Shadow? After disguising ourselves and getting placed in Blackgate Prison, we are taken to our cell, but before this though, if we look up at the gargoyles, we can see a mysterious figure watching us. You may think this is Azrael, but I feel like it's too early in the timeline for Michael Lane to be Azrael, so maybe it's another member of the Order of Saint Dumas, or it could be John Paul Valley Jr., who in the comics was the previous Azrael before Michael. Most likely this is the Shadow Batman that we go up against in Scarecrow's fear toxins section, as they do look similar, and it appeared after Bruce probably felt guilt after Shrike's death, but I would love to know your theories. Something that you could have easily missed in Batman Arkham Shadow is a fan favourite character in the Batman Arkham games. When we are taken to Blackgate Prison under our disguise as matches, a guard leads us through the prison and to our cell. Something you could have easily missed though is that the guard's eye is scratched. More obvious is that if you have the subtitles on, you will see that their name is in fact Bowles, which we know is the crooked Arkham guard from Batman Arkham Asylum.
Officer Bowles.
I didn't even notice this through my playthrough as I didn't have subtitles on, and I wasn't really looking at him, but it's so cool. Even though he's a small character and played a small part in the rest of the games, his story gets fleshed out a bit more. Is this Dick Grayson in Batman Arkham Shadow? After interrogating the Rat King thug, they inform us that Shrike, the person we are looking for, is in the projection room. We sneak up on who we believe is Shrike, but actually is just another rat thug. But something is familiar with this thug. The way he holds the two pieces of the chair legs like sticks, and the black hair made people theorize that this thug is actually Nightwing. A clear giveaway is that the thug is actually voiced by Josh Keaton, who voiced Dick Grayson in Arkham Origins Online. By going through the game files, we can actually see that the textures used to create the thug mask and clothing actually confirm this, with these two textures being ch_Dick_Grayson_mask and ch_Dick_Grayson_torso. This is such a cool detail to have in the game, and it makes sense that he would join the Rat Army, as Dick probably wants to take revenge on the people that gunned down his family. Did you notice this detail? If you wait to the credits of Batman Arkham Shadow, you will find a section called Camouflaj Would Like to Thank, mentioning well-known Arkham YouTubers such as ClimePuncher123, Gotham Paladin, K-Nerd and Caboose. Obviously I was invited to playtest this also, but my letter got lost in the post. I swear. Only messing, but it is awesome to see that Camouflaj is getting involved with the Batman Arkham community more and more, and getting feedback from people who are experienced with the franchise. When we go undercover to get into Blackgate Prison, we use the identity of Irving Malone, nicknamed Matches. You may think this is just a disguise made for Arkham Shadow, but this character was actually created all the way back in 1972 in Batman issue 242. This character actually dies and Batman uses his identity in order to get into the criminal underworld. We also see this character in Batman the animated series a handful times in order to infiltrate Two-Face's gang. Did you know this? Did you know that there is some mid-credit scene audio in Batman Arkham Shadow?
Well, Bruce, the check cleared. Very generous and very necessary. We'll build back one youth center at a time until Gotham has a support network as robust as when you and Harvey were growing up. Also, I found that wayward rat you were asking about. Former rat. It wasn't hard to find. He comes to see me for counseling from time to time. He's still at the Beacon, for now. You should visit him.
We can assume this ex-rat thug is Dick Grayson, who we came up against earlier in the story, which could be a great way to start a sequel if Camouflaj are allowed the Arkham IP again. Here's a couple of things I spotted early on in Batman Arkham Shadow. First off, we have a poster of Solomon Grundy which says, "The man who cheats, death, freak show," who we should all remember from Batman Arkham City when we fought against him. Next we have a billboard of Zatanna, who was referenced a bunch of times already in Batman Arkham. This is a DC character who has real magic such as telekinesis and teleportation. Sadly we haven't seen much more of her apart from posters, but it's still cool to see her referenced. Lastly we have graffiti which depicts Batman and how thugs see him, which was actually first seen in Batman Arkham Knight, which is so cool to see and I'm glad to see it back. After the events of Batman Arkham Origins, you would think that TN1 or Venom would be discontinued due to its effects, but further into the game, when we sneak into Bolton's office, we can find his gym equipment, and on the bench press we can find a magazine that discusses the use of Venom as a somewhat steroid supplement, which is insane to think that something like this was publicly used at some point, but it also could be something separate or maybe a bit safer than what we've seen in Arkham Origins. I love little details in video games, and in Batman Arkham Shadow, I love that when you turn on detective vision, it muffles the background music. So unnecessary, but it definitely helps with immersion. When tracking down Shrike, we can find an entrance that is locked behind a safe. If you've played Batman Arkham Shadow already and know the code for that secret entrance, you can actually just put in the code rather than having to figure it out again. The game knows you cheated and will actually give you this unique dialogue between Alfred and Batman.
That's why his trail led here. I need to find more evidence.
Lucky guess, sir?
Something like that.
In the Bowery, you can find an old Irish pub called Riley's, which if we put our ear close to the door, we can actually hear someone in the pub hiding during the riots.
I built this place with my own two hands. I'm not letting some terrorist rip it to shreds. This is the Bowery. Cops are too scared to show their faces down here. I gotta do this. I may be old and busted, but I can take care of myself. I got the 12 gauge. Any rat sticks his head through this door, I'll blow it clean off. That's why I'm doing this. Our kids need to learn how to defend what's theirs. Go to my cousins until all this rat stuff blows over, all right? I'll be fine. Love you. Gotta go.
Riley's, I believe, is owned by Sean Riley, an Irish mob boss and father of Peyton Riley, who becomes one of the ventriloquists. Still, really cool to see, and let me know what you think. Did you know there's a cut gadget in Batman Arkham Shadow? You can actually find this cut gadget in the game files of Batman Arkham Shadow, which is explosive gel, which is really interesting as in the game we got the explosive gel launcher, so maybe Camouflaj were originally planning to have Batman spray the explosive gel himself. I do love the design as it looks a lot like the prototype of the explosive gel in Arkham Origins, so I'm interested to know if they cut this early on or if there's some sort of limitation that forced them to remove it. At the end of Batman Arkham Shadow, after defeating the Rat King, we visit Harvey in hospital, but did you know you can find newspapers that talk about a new gadget that Wayne Tech plans to release called Rescue Vision? This device would help first responders check the vitals of injured civilians or used for search and rescue missions, which, if you haven't guessed already, is a variation of the detective vision that Batman uses, which makes me wonder, will they go through with this, or does it get scrapped, as we never see it mentioned in the later Batman Arkham games, but it is still really cool to see that Bruce is helping out Gotham in any way he can. We can see Harley Quinn's obsession with the Joker as early back as Batman Arkham Origins. This obsession continues in Batman Arkham Shadow, as where there is normally a naked lady calendar, we instead have Joker's face replacing the lady's face, which can be found in Harley's office. There's actually plenty of references in Harley Quinn's office. Starting off with the villain, when we first enter the office, we can find patients' rooms. One of these patients is named Werner Vertigo, who is a supervillain of Batman and Green Arrow, who is able to give people vertigo, which causes dizziness or disorientation. At Harley Quinn's desk, we can find a newspaper with front page headlining "Bite-sized Bat halts Diamond Heist," which could be a reference to Batmite, which would be really strange to see Batmite canon in the Arkham universe, as he's such a weird character. He was introduced first to appeal to younger kids, but he kinda made Batman less cool, to be honest. But this could actually be Barbara Gordon's Batgirl, as she is a good bit smaller than Batman, and they do use the same photos as we saw in the police station. Another reference, which is really cool, is actually on the back of the newspaper in Harley Quinn's office, where someone is quoted as saying, "He's one of those shapeshifters from Mars." This is most likely a reference to Martian Manhunter, who is an alien that was born on Mars and is also able to shapeshift, so this is pretty cool to see him mentioned, as he doesn't make any appearance in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. CEO Brandon is a pretty miserable guy and won't let you through to the yard until you bribe him with contraband. If we look at his desk, we can see a family photograph, and we can see that his wife has been scribbled out. We can also see that there are divorce papers beside the photograph, so he's probably going through a rough separation, and it's probably the reason why he's so grumpy when we meet him.
Back off, maggot.
Whoa, easy, boss.
If you remember Batman Arkham Origins DLC A Cold Heart, then you may remember this character in Batman Arkham Shadow. The person who created Mr. Freeze and is the real villain of A Cold Heart is named Ferris Boyle and can actually be found in the Blackgate Prison yard. This is so cool to see that a villain that we've gone up against previously is now behind bars.
Look at this. Ferris Boyle. GothCorp's CEO is slumming it in Blackgate with the rest of us rats.
Boyle, huh? Let's pop him.
Get your hands off me, Vermin.
No can do, Boyle. This is our prison, and we're gonna give you the VIP treatment.
Comment down below what your favorite Easter egg or reference was. If you spotted anything that wasn't mentioned in the video, let me know. Be sure to like and subscribe. That's all for now. My name is Foeinform.